Do you have shelves full of half-used ribbon and ribbon scraps left over from old projects, and you're not sure if you'll ever use it again? I'm going to show you what to do with that today. So I'm going to show you how to use your scrap ribbons to make bows for the season you're in that you can sell in your Etsy shop or use them yourself on wreaths or your mantle or your tree or on gifts. There's a million things you can do with bows. You can place them in your kitchen, on your cabinets, on an occasional table, lots of things. So I went ahead and organized my ribbons. I've got my 2 and 2.5 inch here, and then I had tons of 1.5 inch, which I have all here. I did also have some 4 inch, but just to keep it simple for this video, I'm not going to use those today, but you can always use those. You want to start with the larger ribbons first on the bottom of your bow. So you would, if you do have 4 inch, you would have those at the bottom of your bow to start it off. So I put these in these boxes to keep them tamed so they're not rolling all over the table. I thought this would be helpful. I have this big roll here too. Keep handy, stick it in there as well. So I went with this color scheme today. I had tons of red and black and white. So, and it's a Valentine's Day coming up, so I thought we would make something with these. So let's start with we're gonna start with the big polka dot bow, and you really don't have to measure anything out for this because you're using scraps. So I'm just gonna take this and take my bow maker. Let's do this. And I have plenty of this one to go ahead and make a full bow, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave a long tail. And I'm going to start off with a 6-inch loop on each side. Do your pinch and twist as usual. Make another 6-inch loop. And cut my tail. And this is the easy bow maker that I'm using. You can purchase it at the Wreath shop. It does make making your bows much easier on your hands if you're not used to making them by hand. And I'm just going to leave this in here. I'm going to go ahead and run a pipe cleaner under this so it'll be ready to help me take it off when I'm ready. Okay, so then we want to pick our next color. Okay, so let's say you have a section of ribbon and it's not long enough to make a full big bow where we want, see? But you do have enough to make the loops of your bow. So what we would do is measure it, get it even with that one. Look, just take your stapler and staple it a couple of times. You got that. And I'm going to trim these off. Really, you could have cut this shorter and had a longer piece to use in your bow. And we're just going to put that in there. You won't see the staples when it's done. Put that in there. Let's see, what else? We'll take this one and we'll start another bow on top of it. I'm going to go ahead and make the 6-inch loops again. We're still doing our pinch and twist. I'm going to cut that tail. That one's done. Let's add a pop of black and white in there. So again, let's say we don't have enough to make a full bow, but say we just have a piece like this. Look, just lay that in there. You can even start fluffing it out and laying it how you want it. Of course, we'll trim all the tails up later. So we got that pop of black and white in there. Let's do some polka dots on top of that. Let me get these where I can see what we have over here too. And say you just have maybe this much of this piece. Well, don't waste it. Just go ahead and make sure you have enough for a loop in there. And then I'm going to staple that. And have that tail there. This is just going willy-nilly, y'all. This is to show you don't have to have full amounts of ribbons to make full bows, layer a full bow on top of a full bow and whatever. You can just wing it and go with it. Do this on the other side. Make sure it matches that size. This is something I learned from Emily at Craig Bachman. She showed us how she makes these big, huge, beautiful bows with all these scrap pieces of ribbon. So you don't have to waste an entire roll. Let's see, let's do some hearts. I'm going to do a full bow in the heart because I have enough and because I want to. I'm going to lay out my tail and pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. Let's get some more black and white in there. So we're going to do our black and white stripe. I think I would like a loop, some loops in this. I'm going to see how much I need. Again, you want, just like a regular bow, you want your loops on top smaller than your loops on bottom so you can see them all. then I'm just going to staple those together. How about some red with the black in there? Let's get some tails in there. This is no rhyme or reason really. This is just showing you different ways that you can use extra ribbon that you have left over. You know, I love some Swiss dots. Let's do a random and just so you know, if this also shows you, if you're not great at making bows and you're not comfortable trying to tie all the pretty bows, this is another way you can do it. So you do have plenty to make a full bow in this, but you're not good at all the twisting and pinching and twisting and all that thing. Well, look, just do it like this. Grab a piece, loop it like that. That's all you have to do. Fold it over, get a staple gun, staple it, and you've got one, the one that we just made there, and do another just like it, and cross it over on top. And there, that's a full bow right there. Even though you made it in two different pieces, that's still a full bow right there. That's gonna look great. I'm going to throw some white on top to brighten this up. And I think this might be my center. Actually, you really don't need a center to this, but I'm just going to do a loop like this in the center. These would also make great little fundraisers if you have kids that are trying to fundraise for, say, like cheerleading or dance or something. Get them, this is an easy way. They can make bows too. They don't have to be perfect. You just throw a bunch of ribbon pieces together and make these and sell them. And they can be used a million different ways. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there, and we'll see how this came out. So I'm going to pull this all off of my bow maker. Grab it all together. You can also use a zip tie to tie all this together nice and tight if you want, because these do get really thick, and you can get the longer chenille stems if you need to. I'm going to tie that nice and tight. I'm going to tie this on here just so we can fluff it and it'll stay in place. And let's see how it turns out. And then, of course, we want to dovetail all the ends. Or you can just cut the 1.5 inch at a slant, which I often do, or you can dovetail them. And your ribbon tails don't even have to be the same length. do what you want with them. This is another tip too. If you want like the pretty curls in the ribbon tails, like you can wrap it around your finger. This only works with good wired ribbon. Take your finger out and then sometimes it's hard to get it up higher, so curl that part, but like voila, you have pretty curls. You can also just roll it up on itself. I love rolling these tails up and making pretty little things. And look, there you've got a pretty bow. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a way to make a super easy bow using whatever you have left of your ribbon scraps. Just pick a color scheme and go with it. There can be 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors, 6 colors, as long as it's the same ones over and over. So as long as you have pieces of ribbons that are anywhere from like 12 to 14 inches, you are good. So you want your larger ribbons, like your 2.5 inch on bottom and your 1.5 inch and smaller on top. So just like always, you want your wider ribbons on bottom and move to the smaller ones on top. You want to dovetail all of the ends of your ribbon scraps. And then you're just gonna start layering them. You can crisscross them in the center. Let's say you may want, if you have a cutting mat or you have a spot somewhere that you want to make your center. And you can use, you don't have to have 2 of the same pattern or color. Move these where you can see it better. You just start throwing them in there and layering them on. We have 2 of these, so we will double up. I'm going to move to my 2 inch. You know what? Do. And I'm going to take my chenille stem. I'm going to gather this up in the center and pinch it as best as possible. I'm going to place the chenille stem in the center on top of the bow, flip it over, and tie it up. We want to try to make sure everything stays pinched and facing the right direction. And then you can just spread out all your tails. Just make sure all of your patterns and different colors are showing, and you can trim up anything that doesn't look right. I want this one on top a tiny bit smaller. So I'm going to trim it up. Super cute. You have your hearts and your pops of black and white in there. You can fluff them up so they're not so flat. You just run your fingers along, curving as you go. Okay, so to cover this center, I'm just going to take a scrap piece of ribbon. It just needs to be long enough to go around the front of that bow to the back. So you take this and just roll it up on itself. And then we're going to place a little strip of glue there. If you have a smaller glue gun, that's good for these little pieces. But I'm going to use the big boy, and that's fine. So just a little strip of glue there. Uh-oh. Don't burn yourself. We just need enough glue so that it stays folded like that and stays in place. Then you add glue around on top of your chenille stem. And glue that onto there. And you can pull it together nice and tight. And then add a touch more on the back to hold down those ends. And you can use a tool to help you with this so you don't burn yourself. Now, if you're not a super crafter and you don't have a hot glue gun or that's too complicated, let me show you another thing you can do. Let's take a piece of ribbon. I'm going to fold it, roll it up, just like we did that small piece. Or if you have a skinny little ribbon, like a little craft ribbon, little trim ribbon, that would work great for this too. So you don't have to use one of these thick ribbons and fold it up. But look, all you would do, wrap it just like we did, and just tie it together. I would give it a double tie to make sure it holds, and voila. You can use this to tie it on, or you can use it as even part of your bow and tie the dovetail the ends, and it's just part of your bow. So now we have to refluff it. We smushed it. And voila, there's your pretty little craft bow that you didn't have to make any actual fancy loops for. And this is just something else you can use with your extra ribbons to use around the house or make some extra money, sell some bows. put them on gift packages, mailboxes. These are really cute to put on a mailbox. Lots of great ideas. Hi guys, so I have all of these fun ribbons left over from old projects, and I thought we would do a little something with them today. It's Valentine's Day season, and I figured we could come up with something to make a cute Valentine's bow with all this scrap ribbon. So when you've got all these leftover pieces of ribbon, you don't have to throw them out. As long as you've got like a 12 to 14 inch piece, there's something you can do with it. Even if you only have like a 7-8 inch piece, you could still do something with it. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna use my Easy Bow Maker from the Wreath shop. You can find all the bow maker, all these ribbons, all the goodies at thewreathshop.com. And we're going to start with our larger ribbons first. Okay, so I believe I do have enough here for a full bow with this 4-inch ribbon, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna leave a long tail because we're not sure what we're gonna use this for. I'm gonna pinch and twist. This ribbon here is almost like a fabric. I'm gonna make about a 6.5 inch loop there. Make sure it's the same on the other side. And then we have our tail. Got our bow started there. I'm gonna go up to 2.5 inch. I don't think I have enough for a full bow. Well, I do, as long as the tails are short. Let's see how much we have here. You know what we have? See, this is what you can do. Your bow does not have to be exact. You don't have to have the same loops and same tails on each side. So I'm gonna leave one long tail. I'm gonna do a big loop. I'm gonna make that about 6 inches. There we go. And I'm going to leave it like that, and we can trim that off later. Then I think I'm going to take my polka dot ribbon. I love this with the glitter flocked polka dots. It's so much fun. Let's see, I think I'm just gonna make, this is fun. What do I want? I want a lot of it. Okay, so this one, you see, this is complete free design. Do whatever you want. I'm just gonna do one loop. I'm gonna make it the same size as that one. I'm gonna take my staple gun and staple it. I'm gonna throw it in there and cut a long tail. I'm gonna take a polka dot. Thought I didn't have as much as I did of this one. I'm gonna make the same size loop with this. Cut a tail down here. This is pretty. What do I want to do with this? I think we'll do a full bow with this one. So pretty, I love it. Then we'll move on to our 1.5 inch ribbons. I need some good red in there. I'm just gonna do some tails first. I'm gonna throw a pretty pink on there. So here we're gonna do a tail, hitch and twist, and a loop with a tail. It's just completely free-form design. And we can do the same over here. You can pretend you don't have enough ribbon to make the full thing. Do what you want. This is just other ways to use your ribbon. You don't always have to use them to fill up one full wreath and then try to figure out how to mix and match for other wreaths when you need it. You just have a bunch of ribbon laying around, like, just go have some fun making some bows, having fun, and in free form. Do a polka dot. There are no rules except use the larger ribbons on the bottom and the skinnier ribbons on the top. I like it just like that. Let me see. I want to finish it off with a little white. I'm just going to make a small loop for my center there and cut a tail. I'm going to pull this off my bow maker and pinching it together. Make sure I get the center. And I'm tying it nice and tight. I'm going to use this as my bow holder to fluff it. Looks like a hot mess right now, doesn't it? Use it as a way where you can see. I did it the wrong way. See what happens when you dovetail your ribbon the wrong way? And I'm gonna roll these 1.5 inch ribbons up. You can even take the large tails up and roll them to get a little curl to them as well, or just tuck them under. And look, you have a sweet, pretty Valentine's bow to do what you like with. Put it on a mailbox, put it on a tree, make a couple and put them on your mantle, around your kitchen, on a candle, on a candlestick. You could do that, lots of fun things. Once again, guys, this is Sarah at the Wreath Shop. You can find all of these ribbons and wreath making and crafting supplies at thewreathshop.com. Go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe to see more great ideas and tips. Happy crafting!